right, this is John Colo with GrowingYourGreens.com. Today, another exciting episode for you. As you guys can see, I'm just in my garden this morning, and I'm trimming up this bed. This was full of celery and parsley that got a seed, and now I'm actually cutting it out and going to be replanting in some new crops for the new season. And while I'm working in the garden today, you get to think a lot. So, garden to me is kind of like a meditation. I know some of you guys meditate. That's really cool. Gardening is my meditation when I just have time to think for myself and think about things and have my mind clear of news media, TV, internet, and all this stuff, and just kind of connect with nature. And I think about a lot of things. And I was just thinking about there's a thought that crossed my mind as I was gardening today, and I thought I'd share it with you guys real quick. And it's maybe just the topic is garden psyche. So it's in my head, this is no joke, I thought, John, what if you plant all these new baby plants and they don't make it? And then it's then you get scared, man, maybe I shouldn't do it because something bad could happen. And then I thought more man, John, why are you even thinking that stuff? You have a whole garden, full of stuff. And yeah, occasionally some things don't make it. I have some plants that didn't make it the other day due to my error of overwatering. But these things always happen, and it's all right to have those thoughts. Those thoughts are natural. And I guess the thing I'd like to say regarding the thoughts is that, we have a lot of unreal thoughts that are fears. It's false evidence appearing real. And it's we have great imaginations, right? And that's a cool thing that we have great imaginations. We can imagine anything, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. You may want it to happen on some things, and you may not want some things to happen. So when you get these thoughts, whatever they may be, on having babies, adopting, gardening, something with your job, whatever, just accept it. Okay, that's true. It might be possible that my plants might not make it. Then what I like to do is think about the worst case scenario, right? What's the worst case if my plants don't make it? Okay, well, I invested some money in the plants or some time and they didn't make it. Well, big deal. Then I'm out, $20, $50. Then I'm going to start over. And if you buy your plants at somewhere like Home Depot or Lowe's, they have a plant guarantee. So if your plants don't make it, you can get refunded and get more plants to take their place. And I think, well, John, Las Vegas, man, that's a really harsh climate. Gets 100+ degrees in the summertime, months on end. Are you going to be able to do this? And meanwhile, I have a whole garden full of plants that's totally successful. But I get those fears too. And I know a lot of you guys maybe haven't even started gardening because you've had these fears. You still have these fears and you haven't started yet. You got to just put the fears aside and say, all right, I understand that is a logical fear, that could be a problem. But then besides just, facing that it's your thought and something in your imagination, look out for what I call models. Look for somebody doing what you want to do in your area. So before I even started gardening, I visited all the expert gardeners in the area to find out how they did it and to see that they had gardens actually and that you could grow in Las Vegas year round. So I knew that you could do it. And I know with all the plants that I have growing, I could do this. But I still have that little bit of fear. And once you find people that are doing what you're doing, they're doing it. So then you should have the attitude, I could do it too. It's when Carl Lewis broke the 3-minute mile there. He said it couldn't be done. And then he broke it. And then so many other people broke it, right? You guys could garden. It's not that hard. And I'm here to help you guys out. I share my tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to be successful. Because much like any skill in life, you could be successful or unsuccessful in. A skill that most of you guys are successful in is driving, right? You guys hopefully don't crash every day. And you definitely don't crash and lose your lives because otherwise you wouldn't be watching my video, I hope. So you're successful every day getting in your car, turning it on, driving to the store without getting an accident, without hitting a tree, without running into the curb, all this kind of stuff. And gardening is the same way. You just need to learn how to do it if you haven't done it before. And even if you learn how to do it, when you get in that car, sometimes you might be a little bit concerned, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to crash today. It's all right. You've done it before. You could do it. and you'll be safe. And even if you haven't gardened before, there's other people in your area doing it. And even if there's nobody in your area doing it, there's somebody within some kind of 50-mile radius doing it. And even if that's not happening, if you look outside in your yard, there's grass and there's trees and there's shrubs. And if things are growing outside, you guys could have a garden. So my final thoughts on this topic is simply this. It's all right to have fears and to know that they're there, but to know that they may not be fully accurate, they may not be fully real. And I want you guys to face your fears, right? Like, to this day, I still don't like haunted houses. I've been in haunted houses before, you know, where people jump out and scare you and all this stuff. Like, I don't really want to do that. I know it's like, I'm not going to, like, get murdered or nobody's going to, like, stab me with a knife inside a haunted house. But, like, you think that might happen. And, of course, you see all the people walking out that are safe and didn't lose their life, unless you're in, like, you know, Friday the 13th movie. But I still don't like to do that. But with gardening, like, you got to think, what's the advantage of me going in the haunted house, right? For me, like, the advantage, you might get an adrenaline rush. You might like to feel that way. I don't like to feel that way. But with gardening, like, once you start doing it, it's like so relaxing, so rewarding. You're going to be growing your own food. You could be healthier because of it. You're going to save money depending on how you garden, of course. And of course, you know, putting investment in your soil, in the infrastructure, it's an investment, and it's the best investment you guys could make in your health and the health of the planet, the health of yourself. So you just got to, like, realize you got the fears, but have a psyche that, yes, I can do it, you know, and you got to just start. Take that first step. It's like, another thing I'm scared about, actually, to this day, is like jumping off cliffs into the water. Like, you never exactly know what's going to happen until you hit the water, go down into the water, and then actually you come up. Because you could hit the water and hit a rock and hit your head, right? But if you see other people do it, you know it's safe. And if you see other people gardening in your area, you know it can be done. So I do encourage you guys to visit local gardens in your area and check with locals and farmers and gardeners that are already successful and ask them questions before you start. And also be sure to check my videos. My videos are a wealth of knowledge on how some of the mechanics of gardening. But, you know, unlike a lot of other channels, you know, I really like to talk about other things about, you know, self-improvement and life empowerment, you know, like I did today, especially with fear, because fear happens in life a lot more than just gardening. And I want you guys to face your fears and logically think about it and, you know, take baby steps to conquer them so that you guys could start a garden or do whatever in life you want to. If you guys enjoyed this short format with my garden psyche without me even touching the soil today, please give me a thumbs up. I'll do more videos on this. You know, I mean, my background is, before I even got into gardening, I was really into self-improvement, and, you know, 24/7 I listen to self-improvement, you know, kind of tapes, CDs, and audiobooks. And actually, to this day, I still listen to audiobooks many times when I'm gardening to influence my brain, because our brains are our most powerful tools that we have. But unfortunately, most people have not been taught how to properly use them, because you will not get taught this information in standard schools. You have to go out on your own and, you know, learn from people, you know, that are teaching this stuff, but that are not in public schools and institutions, because they, in my opinion, those train you to, you know, be mindless drones, to work be a cog in a system. And I want you guys to step out of the system. And one of the biggest things to do that is to start growing your own food, so you're not a slave to the food system any longer. In any case, I gotta get going. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I gotta replant this bed. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes I've coming out about every 3 to 4 days. Also, be sure to share this video with some of you guys who think it could help. And be sure to check my past episodes if you need to know how and learn how to set up a garden from scratch, from nothing. I have hour-long plus videos where I just go over all the basics for you guys so that you guys can be successful and you guys can do it. And get over any of these Jedi mind tricks your mind's playing on you. So anyways, once again, my name is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep on growing. All right, this is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com to do another exciting episode for you. And what we're going to do today for you guys is thanks to somebody on Fiverr that wanted to do a coaching session with me. But instead of a coaching